Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. As we think about relationships, one of the most sure foundations that a relationship can have is love. We have a lot of relationships in this world, relationships with our coworkers, relationships with our boss, relationships with the government, relationships with just friends and people who share the same interests and hobbies. We have a lot of relationships in this world, but I think we could be pretty certain in saying that the ones that are the most firm and the ones that are most fixed are the ones that are established in love. When two people love each other, mutually love each other, and not just talking about romantic love between a husband and wife, although that would apply, but even love between two friends, love between a father and his children, or a mother and her children, and vice versa. Whenever relationships are built on love, those are the more firm and those are the more fixed relationships. And we find as we explore and think about our relationship with God, that it's a wonderful thing that our relationship with God is really based on love. Ultimately, it's based on love, not based on how good we are, not based on some legal thing or something like that, but it's really built on the fact that God loves us in the most absolute sense. We read in Ephesians chapter 2 today in verse 4 that God demonstrated his love. While we were walking according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, while we were really living according to the desires of the flesh and the mind, we were basically children of wrath. But in verse 4 of Ephesians 2, it says, "But God, being rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our transgressions, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved." And so we have a relationship with God that's built on love. He loved us, and he initiated the relationship through that love, through Jesus Christ. And so in Ephesians chapter 3, when we have a prayer that the Apostle Paul is offering for the church, it's no wonder that he would talk about their firm and fixed position and talking about it in terms of being fixed in love. He starts in verse 14 by saying, "For this reason I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in the inner man, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you, being firmly rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled up to all the fullness of God." And it's that statement of being firmly rooted and grounded in love that ties into what we're speaking about here. We are firmly rooted and grounded in love. In other words, we have a firm foundation. We have a solid ground. We are fixed in the love of God. What a wonderful thing that is, to know that our position that we have before God is rooted and grounded in his love. Not in us being able to do everything perfectly, not based on anything else, not because we know the right people or, because we are related to the right people, but it is based solely on and ultimately on love. And that's a firm and sure foundation. And so the Apostle Paul wanted them to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge. And when they knew just how much Christ loved them, and when they knew that the love of Christ surpasses knowledge, and we could say surpasses all things, when we can really take hold of the fact that God has loved us so much, and we can wrap our heads around just how much he loved us, then we can be filled up to all the fullness of God, because we can walk with the confidence and the assurance of knowing that we have a firm and fixed relationship with God that is sure and steadfast and will not fade away. The Lord loves us, and he's called us to himself. And so he invites us into that relationship. And we have a relationship that is really grounded and rooted in love. And so when we know that, we draw all the more closer to him with all the more confidence of wanting to be more and more in relationship with him. Now, that doesn't mean that then we go just live however we want to, because he loves us, but his love actually motivates us to want to, or to reciprocate that love. And when we reciprocate that love, it makes us want to please him. It makes us want to do things that are pleasing in his sight. And we are motivated then by love to obey his commandments and to do the things that he asks of us to do. But really, all of this finds its groundwork, all this finds its foundation on love. And what a wonderful thing that we have. We have a God who has opened up the channels of his relationship with us through the channel of love. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do a read today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.